And we're live. Hello, guys. Hope you guys are well. I'm joined with Ross today. We're going to be previewing the Stoke versus Norwich game, or should I say the Norwich versus Stoke game that's coming up this Saturday. A much anticipated game from both teams. Ross, would you like to introduce yourself to the Talk Norwich City fan base?
Hello, I'm Ross Hancock. I'm from We'll Be With You and been a Stoke fan since the age of 5. My dad bought me a Man United top and a Stoke top and he said choose. But Stoke, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you've been sort of the team in the press recently. It's sort of been you and Bournemouth and that have sort of really come to light this season. Obviously, Bournemouth with their rags to riches fame, and now you guys who are obviously known a few seasons ago for being quite an unattractive football team, and now you're signing like Shaqiri and all of these players. What's it been like being a Stoke fan over the past sort of say season, really?
Well, I mean, for Stoke fans, Tony Pulis was a necessity at times. You know, he battled for results and might not have been the most attractive football, but you know, he got us where we were and laid a lot of really good foundations. And Mark Hughes has, you know, I think proved a lot of people wrong and signed some players that were well within our means. You know, we didn't spend over anything on players. You know, we spent about 10 million in 2 seasons, which in the Premier League is nothing. We stepped up a bit this season with signings like Shaqiri, like you said, and Azelu. So we spent near enough 20 million this season. But no, it's been absolutely incredible being a Stoke fan because we just seem to keep setting records every season. I mean, goals scored, goal difference, points, you know, position, and I think another 9th place finish. And you know, Mark Hughes has really shown what he can do again. I think
definitely. I'm sort of me looking into Stoke. And I think a lot of other Norwich fans are wondering, how are you picking up these kind of players? Do you know, or is it just sort of fantastic news that you're doing it?
I think a lot of it is actually Mark Hughes because obviously he was at Barcelona and he's got a scouting team that were implemented in the last year of Tony Pulis' reign. And I think that was part of why Tony Pulis didn't really want to be at Stoke because, you know, there was people like Breck Shea and Jack Butland as well, who's obviously been a big success. But these are players that he didn't sign. It was the scouting team that did. And I think they're working very well with Mark Hughes. I mean, like I say, Shaqiri, he seems to be someone we've tracked for about a year or so now. And, you know, I don't think any Stoke fan ever thought we'd actually get him. I think it was something that, you know, was so far-fetched. I mean, I did a piece on my website saying that he wouldn't come and how outrageous that we even tried to sign him, but now he's a Stoke player. But I think it's a lot to do with Mark Hughes and his links to Barcelona. And, you know, I think when you've got that foot in the door, then you've got that little advantage over other teams. And, you know, obviously once you've signed one, it's sort of a knock-on effect. I mean, Mark Muniesa, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's centre-back. He's become a real fan's favourite, and he seems like the sort of guy who you can sort of say, look, sell the club to this player that he used to play with or whatever. You know, he seems like quite a charismatic guy. So I think Mark Hughes has been a big part of it, but I think it's embedding these players together, like you know, like a little gang of a bit like Newcastle did with the French connection that they have. A lot of them are Spanish, and a lot of them speak Spanish together. And I don't think it's going to cause a rift, but I think it's very good that they're all sort of become such good friends after they've left one club and then to another.
Yeah, it's obviously great news that you're signing these players, but it's important, isn't it? Because it's sort of coming up from the Championship last season. I can remember last time we were in the Premier League. Stoke, obviously, we're playing you this week, and Crystal Palace were 2 teams that we looked to get 3 points off. Now we're looking at and thinking, actually, if we can get a draw out of this, it might be good. All the teams sort of above us are really strengthening, including you, Crystal Palace, even like sort of Everton, who have got the likes of Lukaku in the ranks. How important do you think it was for you not to sort of get left behind and sign these players to hopefully maybe get them European positions?
I think it was absolutely vital that we had to. I mean, I absolutely love Tony Pulis, but I think it was right that he went. I think he'd taken us as far as he could physically take the club, and you know, signing players like Muniesa, Bojan, Afellay, Shaqiri, you know, the list is endless. And signing those sort of players is it's an absolute necessity taking you forward. Because I mean, Cameron Jerome, obviously he was a Tony Pulis signing, and he's a big player for you, but for us right now, he wouldn't get anywhere near the starting 11. And not a slight to Cameron Jerome at all, because he won some, you know, vital points for us, but he has for you as well last season. But I think getting rid of those sort of hard-working players who perhaps haven't got all the skill but have got all the energy. People like John Walters, though, you know, he's managed to keep his place despite that. But a lot of those players have moved on and left the club, like Huth, who a lot of Stoke fans still miss. But it's sort of the times are changing at Stoke, and a lot of it is down to the management and the style they're trying to implement. But yeah, signing those players is absolutely vital to the progress, really.
Definitely. If there's anyone watching who wants to leave any questions for Ross or myself ahead of this game, then please do. We'll be around for about 15 minutes, so stick them in the comments and I'll try and read them out. So let's move on to this this weekend's game, Ross. Sort of how's your start of the season been? Has there been any players that's really shone, or how's it gone the first couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, against Liverpool, we had a pretty good performance. Not an amazing one, but we should have drawn. We lost a last-minute wonder goal from Coutinho, and Spurs last week was a dreadful first half, but second half the subs changed the game for us, and we looked really, really good second half. And if it had been a 100-minute game, we would have won 3 or 4-2. We were that good in the final minutes. But it's been a good start. I think we had a decent enough pre-season with the players we've brought in, and it's sort of, I think, it's confidence more than anything. People like Shaqiri. Every Stoke fan now is talking about Shaqiri. I mean, I've not got Shaqiri on this shirt, but I've got him on the other. I had last Shaqiri in the shop at about an hour into their openings. So
wow, okay.
It's been a real lift for us, and I think Stoke have played all right. And a lot of time still to play, obviously, but I think we're going to be absolutely just fine this season. And about yourselves as well, I think you've had a great start. Very unlucky against Palace.
Yeah.
Obviously, that one goal changed the game, the disallowed goal. But I think both the teams have had pretty decent starts to the season. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, we haven't had a bad start. I think the Palace game was probably our toughest. Sunderland last week were absolutely woeful. For me, if they don't improve, they're obviously going down. But you said there about Shaqiri being this whole, obviously he's a massive signing for you, but is there any players that have sort of gone under the radar of away fans? Because obviously me looking into Stoke, it's all about Shaqiri at the moment. Are there any players that haven't got into the limelight that probably would have done if it wasn't for Shaqiri signing?
Yeah, I'd say Mark Muniesa. I mean, he's not a new signing, but he's really come into his own in pre-season. And, he suffered a bit with injury last year, but he scored 2 goals against Sunderland in the League Cup. And, this is a centre-back, by the way. And he went forward, bombing forward, scored a couple of goals. And he's been absolutely brilliant. And Stoke fans have got a new song for him, and he seems to be the real fans' favourite at the moment. But, yeah, I think Mark Muniesa, he's a centre-back. He's only about 5'10", 11. He's not much taller than me. But he seems to jump. I mean, he was beating Benteke to every header, and he just seems like a real nice bloke. And he's really become a fan's favourite at the moment.
Yeah. So obviously, for Norwich fans, we're going to be wanting to know where you're going to win the game, really, and where we're going to maybe exploit some of your weaknesses. So, where are your main sort of strengths and weaknesses at the moment?
I'd say a lot of Stoke fans would probably say the weaknesses in centre defence, because obviously we lost Ryan Shawcross for 3 months. He's out with a back injury, and it is a real shame, because obviously he's the captain and he organises the team. But Glenn Whelan's taken the captain's armband, and he's been very, very good actually. But it's not the same as having that presence in defence with Shawcross. But we'll probably be playing Muniesa with Jeff Cameron, who's done really well at centre back. But again, it's been 2 games in the season. You can't say for sure how good they're going to be. And if it is Jerome, he might look to exploit them with pace, or if it's Graben, not too sure. But I think it's going to be an interesting battle up front for you against our centre backs. But in terms of our strengths, I think we've started the season pretty well in the centre of midfield. I think Van Ginkel's had a really good start. We've not got Bojan back, and I don't think he'll be back for the game on Saturday. But we've got Stephen Ireland, who had a really good second half when he came on. And Van Ginkel, like I say, has been really, really important throughout the season so far. And in pre-season looked absolutely brilliant. But I think Van Ginkel in the centre is going to be an interesting one. Because I'm not sure you're going to play in centre midfield. It's going to be probably Johnny Howson and Houlihan, is it?
So it's probably going to be Houlihan normally plays in behind the striker. One up front with probably Jerome. Last game we had the 4 across the middle of Dorrans on the left. We then had Tete and Howson, and then Redmond out on the right. So Tete was a real standout player, and he's more of a defensive player than Howson. So I'm not sure how you're going to line up against that kind of setup.
Yeah, it'll probably be Ireland playing against Tete then, just behind Mame Diouf. So I think it's going to be a tough game for Stoke, to be honest. I mean, obviously we've had Liverpool at home, Spurs away, Norwich away, not the easiest start, and we've got Arsenal coming up and West Brom at home as well, which I think West Brom is probably the one that we're looking at in this first 5 that is sort of, we have to win this game. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very tough game. I don't think many Stoke fans are absolutely confident of the result. And it seems weird to say that for a promoted club. Again, no slight to Norwich, but you'd expect to win your games against promoted clubs. But
I mean, yeah. No, I think that's the thing, that all of the promoted clubs this season add something a bit different. I mean, I know last season you had like Burnley and stuff who didn't really invest that much, but Watford have invested huge amounts. Bournemouth have got sort of a great spirit and things around the club, and obviously Norwich's main sort of selling factor at the moment is Alex Neil as manager. Still hasn't lost an away game, something like a 65% win ratio, and when you've got him in charge, I don't think any team's going to be confident sort of to definitely grab a win. One of our main players, we've already spoken about him a bit, is Cameron Jerome. Obviously had a decent spell at you. What are Stokes fans' opinions on him, and is he going to get a bit of stick this weekend, or what's the reaction going to be?
He won't get any stick. I think he was a player who didn't really get as much of a chance at Stoke as he could have done. He was a very much a bit part player. He scored most of his goals from the bench. I mean, the goal I remember most was against Southampton. We're 3-1 down with 10 men. We score one, and then Jerome scores 90th minute screaming from about 30 yards out. And it was, I think that moment especially just cemented his place in Stoke fans' hearts. So I don't think he'll ever get a bad reception because, he didn't leave on bad terms or anything. I think Stoke fans wanted him to do well. So, I mean, he played well for Stoke. He was a real danger up front for us when we had, I think it was Crouch and Jerome up front usually. And I think Stoke fans are giving a good reception, definitely.
I mean, obviously, you've been looking into sort of, I'm not sure if you've been following our transfer activity so far, but it's been fairly well publicised that we haven't actually signed a striker yet. We've been linked to Benica Fobe from Wolves, loads of players, but Benica Fobe's been the most recent one. If we were to sign a striker, or it's probably not going to happen now, even if we do, they're probably not going to play Saturday, but if we would have signed, say, Benica Fobe, would you have been more fearful of Norwich, or are you currently worried about the likes of Lewis Graben and Cameron Jerome? Or are them kind of players not really in the back of your mind, and you don't think they can make too much of an impact?
Well, like you say, I mean, I didn't know they hadn't signed a striker. I knew you'd signed a few players. To be honest, I'm expecting more of Malumbi. Was he played a game yet?
He played the whole pre-season, was one of the standouts, but he's out for about 12 weeks now, so he's injured.
Right, I missed that.
Yeah, so he's not.
Right, I really liked him. Yeah. But no, in terms of striker, I think someone who's going to bully defenders like Jerome or Graben is probably more of a threat to us, to be honest, because like I said, Meunier is not massive. Jack Cameron's only about 6'1", 6'2", something like that. It's not a big defence we've got at the moment, but I think a tricky player is probably going to be matched by their quick feet. Meunier is absolutely brilliant on the ball. Barcelona, born and bred, he's got it absolutely in abundance. But no, I'd definitely say a player like that sort of Jerome is going to stamp on the feet and get at them, and I think he'd be more of a danger, to be honest. But I think Benica Fobe, he's obviously started the season well, and he had a good season last year with Dons and Wolves. So I think he could be a real danger. Jerome, that is.
Come on then, let's get a prediction off you for this weekend. I want scorers, final score, and how you just think the game's going to go in general.
Yeah, well, I think, like I say, I think this will be a tough game for Stoke. We're going to have a fairly strong team. I think Shaqiri's going to start, so a lot of expectation will be on him.
Yeah.
I'd love to say it'll be a Stoke win with Shaqiri getting a hat trick or something, but I think, to be honest, I mean, obviously you've conceded a couple of goals. We've conceded a couple of goals. Well, obviously four goals for you and 3 for us, but I don't think it should have been 3 against Palace for you. Probably just attacking at the end. But no, I think I'm going to say a 1-1 draw with a Mame Diouf goal, because he's had 6 shots so far this season, all of them on target. He's been a real potent force up front, so I'm expecting him to get some goals this season. A Shaqiri cross, Diouf header, probably Jerome goal for Norwich as well. just as it would be.
It's written.
It's got to be.
I think a Jerome goal and a Shaqiri goal is definitely on the cards.
I'll have to check the odds, but I think I'd take a draw, definitely. I mean, it sounds like, pretty weird to say that, but like you say, Alex Neil's had a good start with Norwich, and I think I'd absolutely take a draw. I saw the playoff final last season, and I think they're absolutely brilliant. I had Borough to win. I thought Borough would win, but then banked on the Barcelona of Norfolk. I thought it was a brilliant performance.
Yeah, that's actually really promising to hear that you'd take a draw, because obviously we all thought that the Stoke fans with your new signings and everything would be really up for it and obviously wanting a win. But that's really good to hear. I think from my final word would be, if you're going to win this game, it's going to be through attacking us, because our defence is fairly weak. We haven't really changed it from the Championship, where we did leak quite a few goals. I mean, obviously Robbie Brady's now playing at left back because our left back's injured, Martin Olsen, but he's sort of out of position, and that's the only real change in our team. So we are pretty much going into this with a Championship team, you could say. But I think it's going to be a good game. If anyone wants to come to your website to check out any pre-match stuff, or just want to follow Stoke content in general, where can they find you?
It's willbewithyou.co.uk, so we'll be with you without the apostrophe. And we're going to have some match build-up from Norwich fans, Stoke fans. We're going to have a little quiz as well, so it's 10 questions about Norwich and Stoke meetings and former players and whatnot. So I'll stick Darryl Russell and Peter Thorne and someone like that. And I'm not done it yet. I'm just trying to think of some, but so there's stuff like that on the website, and hopefully some build-up, some review as well after the game. So check out if you like.
Good stuff. Yeah, head over there, all of you guys, and thanks for watching this. As always, subscribe to the channel. Loads and loads of content coming up this weekend with the game coming up, and also a bit more preview content coming up as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon.